Hi guys, Jasmo here, and today I want to shed light on the character I'm going to be playing in the Gauntlet. If you're watching this video, if this video is released, then it's probably time of the Gauntlet right now, and I'm playing in it. Every time I play, I stream also at Asmodeus stream on twitch.tv, and I'm gonna show this character just basically as an explanation for anyone who wants to join the Gauntlet. I'll be releasing this video a little bit before, and I'll be actually explaining what I'm gonna be doing from the very beginning. But before I do that, I want to show like the build, how does it work, how does it function in the end. It's a cold DoT Trickster, and I have a map here that has like extra damage and also like monsters fire 2 additional projectiles to make it kind of similar to the league mods that we're gonna be playing with, which give monsters extra projectiles and damage and all kinds of crazy mods. And basically I want to show the build in terms of like how it performs, how tanky it is, and it doesn't deal that much damage because that's not what it focuses on. It sacrifices a lot of stuff for the ability to be super tanky, and basically the build revolves all around like 3 different skills. It's a Creeping Frost, it's a Cold Snap, and it's also the Vortex. The Vortex is on the left click, the Cold Snap is on W, and I can spam Cold Snap because I keep generating the charges. The sounds you're hearing are from like different bases that I have filter that I made specifically for this event, but the build is very safe, and this is not even the type of content that I'll be running. I'll be running a much lower level content with this level of gear, because this is just me transitioning the character to like a trade league so that I can quickly switch to CI and see how it will work with like this minimal investment without having to farm that in the actual league. But that's basically how the build functions. We are playing as CI and we have so many defensive layers, so let me explain this version of the build. The reason why I wanted to play CI is that in the actual league you're gonna have minus 100 chaos res, minus 100 to every res. Basically you get on top of like the minus 60 that you normally have, you're also getting minus 40 on top of that, so you end up with like minus 100 chaos res and all of the other elemental resistances. So what you want to do is go CI so that you can actually take care of that, and then on the other gear you will take care of the resists that are on top of that. And you can see I'm like overcapped here because I'm taking into account that that would be minus 40, right? Which means I still would be at 77, so like 1% overcap on the lightning res. And I would get that later when I would anoint crystal skin, because that's what I would anoint here probably. Crystal skin costs not that much, just like silver, black, and the dirty one, and that's all you need. The build in terms of like the passive skill tree basically goes for energy shield, damage over time, cold damage over time, some block nodes, CI, also wicked ward, some more cold damage over time, some block, spell block, elemental overload, elemental equilibrium, more shield, some more resistances and elemental damage, and extra block nodes. These block nodes, actually I should probably take like block nodes somewhere here, because eventually if you manage to kill Awakener and you get Thread of Hope, you can put Thread of Hope here, a small one, and grab Phase Acrobatics. If you get a very large one, you can put one here and grab like these 2 nodes, grab the Int, grab Wicked War, grab this, grab like Snowforged. You can grab a lot of things from a very big Thread of Hope, but that's not something that we're gonna have initially. So I only have like this one that I made: damage over time, cold damage over time multiplier, and maximum energy shield. That's a jewel that you can easily make with a little bit of alteration and regal, but there's nothing special on this tree. Do not take glancing blows unless you have a shield that actually has ES recovery on block. Without that, you're basically going to be taking more damage for no reason. It's only worth it if you have like ES recovery on block. It's not worth in any other case because it makes it just take more damage than you would otherwise. So you go for pure block. If you can find the roomies, that would be ideal here instead of this granite flask. So the build has so many defensive layers. Number 1, so as I mentioned, CI, so we are immune to chaos. We are capping our res. We're actually gonna get the crystal skin, so we'll be 76, 76, 77 of all the elemental resistances. Then we have a bunch of evasion, especially when we use all of the flasks. When you like piano all of the flasks, then we sit at like 61% chance to evade, 6000 armor, and then we also have like chance to dodge spells. We also have through this flask, we have like another extra chance to dodge attack, dodge spells, which you can get more on gear. You can also get like, if you find rainbow strides, that's another great pair of boots to wear. It will give you some extra spell block or spell dodge, I think spell block. And then we also of course have a bunch of block, and the block is true block, so we basically take no damage. Other than that, we recover ES when we get hit based on our evasion through the ghost shrouds. So Trickster has so many defensive options here because of the ghost dance. We get like extra chance to evade, reduce damage taken per ghost shroud, and every time we're hit we recover energy shield equal to 4% of the evasion rating. So we recover ES when we get hit when we have ghost shrouds, and we have them most of the time. We also cannot be stunned while we have ghost shrouds. However, because this is hardcore, because this is an extreme mode, I went for a true stun immunity without, as you can see, no Eye of Chayula. You don't need that. You only need to either craft it or get an essence. So there is an essence, is it of zeal or something like that? Let's see, where is it? Stun. So I think it's Scorn. Yeah, if you put it on gloves, you get chance to avoid being stunned, and then you can craft on them chance to avoid elemental ailments as well. Then you can craft one on the body armor, so you can get body armor that will have, if you have an empty prefix, you can get chance to avoid elemental ailments and chance to avoid being stunned. And then on the helmet, chance to avoid being stunned. And then you have on the passive skill tree, you have chance to avoid elemental ailments from elemental focus, and chance to avoid elemental ailments and stun from arcane swiftness when you're holding a shield. So overall, if you look at the defense here, stun avoidance 101%, so we cannot get stunned, and ignite, chill, freeze, shock avoidance 100%, so we cannot get ignited, chilled, frozen or shocked at all. We don't need that on our flasks, which means on our flask we're gonna have curse removal, we're gonna have adrenaline, we're gonna have poison removal, and we're gonna have bleed removal. And that way we cover all of the bases with the flasks and with these immunities. So we cannot be stunned, we cannot be shocked or ignited or frozen or chilled. We're gonna have pretty good elemental resistances. We're gonna have pretty good health pool, because this is just as you switch. Like, this is a very cheap gear, not cheap, like this is very quick gear to acquire. Like, I have like, you know, 21 energy shield here, whatever. The only thing that we need are the crafts, and that might be kind of difficult to get, but you want to do betrayal in the very low maps so that you actually don't rip to it and you can safely kill it quickly. Like, you over level the low maps by a lot, and then you go back to the early maps and do some betrayal missions that you accumulated, and you'll be able to get, for example, +1 to minimum endurance charges. If you get that, you put it on all of your jewelry, and now suddenly you have 3 endurance charges at all times. If you manage to get the aspect of the crab, that's another thing you can put on. The stone stance, right? So nearby enemies are blinded, and also you take 11% less damage from attacks from enemies that are not nearby. So we take less damage through so many different ways, right? And of course the classic, when you do cold dot, usually you want a wand that has trigger a socketed spell when you use a skill. That's another thing you want to kill betrayals for, and that allows you to put Tempest Shield in it for extra chance to block. As you're like dashing around, as you're doing stuff, you're gonna keep casting Tempest Shield, you're gonna keep casting Stormbrand, which is gonna, number one, it's gonna crit, so you're gonna get the elemental overload, more elemental damage for your dots, and number two, it's gonna apply elemental equilibrium. Just make sure that you don't have any cold damage to spells added anywhere, so when you hover over this skill, where is it, you want to make sure that it only deals lightning damage and it doesn't have any cold damage added to it, and that you also don't have any yeah, that's it pretty much. Because if you have some flat cold damage added, then it's gonna actually give the cold res as well to the monsters, and you don't want that. Other than that, that's where the damage comes from, right? So elemental equilibrium and elemental overload, a bunch of block. What else do I need to talk about? And also you have frostbite here as well, and I cast the frost bomb separately. We have flesh and stone with discipline. Malevolence we're actually not running. I should put here instead I should put instead a guard skill and have it potentially also somewhere on another hotkey, so that we can use it either either molten shell, steel skin, or anything else. You can also have a cast when damage taken setup, but with this amount of skill gems we have here, we might not be able to get it. So Swift Affliction should be actually exchanged for Hypothermia here. We should have like Cold Snap, Bone Chill, Controlled Distraction, and Hypothermia. Then we have Creeping Frost with like Efficacy, Swift Affliction, Hypothermia, Controlled Distraction, and we also have like Vortex with Efficacy, with Arcane Surge and Hypothermia. So Arcane Surge is triggering that because we are shield charging, so we're not getting Arcane Surge that way, but we can have it on Vortex. And we have Curse from the wand. This is a very easy to find belt. You will find this all the time and just gives you a bunch of ES. Like without it, we have like 500 less ES. So this is something that you can equip early on. Very, very simple gear, just like Cold Res, Max Energy Shield, and Endurance Charge. Let me set up D&D, because people want these scarabs for some reason. These items are extremely easy to craft. What you want to get is like dense fossils and frigid fossils, and then you can get stuff like, you know, like Cold Res and Max Energy Shield, Percentage Energy Shield, or you can just spam dense fossils and you'll be able to craft something like this. You want like hybrid rolls that give you evasion and energy shield, so like max evasion and energy shield and percentage evasion and energy shield. And if you get that, then make sure you get like empty prefix, and then you can slam the rest, because you will probably find a few exalts if you're playing for a long time in this league. So you can slam some gear with like extra, get like extra resistances or like dodge or mana. Anything would be helpful. That's basically it when it comes to this version. But when you are leveling, you're actually going to be playing something completely different, because of course you cannot start with CI. And what I'm going to be doing is, and what I already tested, and that's how I leveled this character, is going completely opposite direction, which will cost a lot of regrets, but they're very easy to get from heists. And that is this way. Basically, we're grabbing all of these juicy early nodes in the beginning. And we're grabbing also like Arcane Expanse, and this will give us enough AoE. We get the Elusive, then we get some damage, life, then we go toward Acrobatics, then we grab some more life, and then we're gonna be grabbing Wind Dancer and Crystal Skin. So Wind Dancer is huge with the amount of evasion, because definitely you want to make sure that you're picking up evasion gear and focusing on that. And with the Acro Phase Acro and the Flasks and the Survivalist, we're gonna have so much chance to evade that we're gonna not be getting hit very often. But when we get hit, the Wind Dancer will have us take will help us take less damage. And this is very, very important, makes a big difference, and you notice it a lot when you grab it, that you become much more tanky. So like once you grab Acrophase Acro and this life, then you're gonna be much more tanky. And then we also grab the Scion life. On the way we also have like more elemental res and evasion, and then flask effectiveness. All of that is very, very helpful. As you can see, this is until like level 89, because my goal for this league is to get to level 90. So that's all I'm gonna need if I don't even switch to CI. I might not even end up switching to CI if I don't find the gear in time and I level to 90. That is possible, but I probably will end up switching to CI actually, and I'm gonna become more tanky. But before that, this is the way I'm gonna be leveling. I'll put this POB in the description, so you'll be able to level with this exact skill tree if you want to try that. This is like this is a pretty efficient way. Like otherwise, I guess chaos damage 3 points, 1, 2, 3 points. Otherwise you'd go like, you can also respec these points as well and grab some more life, right? You can grab, not like this, like this. You can grab extra life here, and that's pretty much all life that we have here, right? We're like level 92 already. It's hard to grab any more life. The other way that people were suggesting to go for like EO and so on, you get much less life. You'll notice that here, if I'm going to like Scion life, and let's spec it the way I was before. Let's make it exactly how it was before. 91, okay. So we are 112 points, and then let's go back to this EO version, 100, and let's pick 112 as well. Okay, 113. So something has to go. Like, I mean, we can allow ourselves. Okay, let's say this. Okay, or actually this. This is life regen. It's actually better. I mean, let's be charitable. 174% life, and with this way we have 200 over 200% life, right? So it's like 30% less life going for the EO, and we don't need the early damage, right? And also you get less resistance, you get less flask effectiveness, so you get less healing from flasks as well. And that way is just way less efficient, because you have to skip this, you have to skip this. Like you would never skip like Crystal Skin, Wind Dancer. This is just crazy to not go for this, because yeah, you could go for like completely different route, right? And instead of this, go for like this and this, and then you could grab like this thing, and you could grab Elemental Equilibrium, and yeah, you have like, yeah, we have more life, but we have way less, and like more damage, more AoE, but we have way less life, right? It's like 50% less life. So this is definitely not the way to go. For sure, if you're leveling early on, you want to make sure like grabbing the Scion life and you're pathing through more life. You can also get the duration, but it's not really necessary early on. But like grabbing the extra resist and evasion is pretty big, and making sure that you're getting the Wind Dancer and Crystal Skin. So that's gonna be my build for the Gauntlet. I'm gonna be streaming, and I'm gonna be uploading like some updates or maybe highlights from the stream for the next few days as that is going on. And then after the event, I'm probably going to be working on a guide for a starter build that I think is the future of starter builds. So I'm gonna make sure to have that out before the next league. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.